Our next speaker, Renee Ulrich, is graduating from our Professional Mental Health and Addictions Master's Degree program. Renee has been working in the field of addictions for 9 years, coming into her graduate program with quite a bit of experience. Faculty members who have worked closely with her report that she still took every opportunity to learn any new information and skills that were there for her. They say that she is confident without being arrogant, curious without being tangential, flexible without conceding her values, and resilient while remaining fully human. They believe that Renee is a gift to the profession of counseling and feel fortunate to have had her in our Lewis and Clark community. I know her bond with her cohort members is strong as well. Renee has worked with homeless individuals who are facing addiction and often 1, 2, or more other mental health-related issues. She has a passion for reducing mental health and addictions stigmas in our society. We are proud to have her as our student commencement speaker. Please welcome Renee Ulrich.
So I'm not as well practiced as our main speaker. I do not have my speech memorized. My brain's been buzzing. So good morning. I haven't met all the faces that are here, but I'd like to say welcome. I'm thankful for our opportunity to come together to celebrate this milestone in our academic careers. I would also like to thank the president, the dean, the associate dean, the faculty, administration, and Michelle, who runs the graduate campus cafeteria. She's really the most important person on the campus. Thank you for making this day possible for all of us that are going to be crossing this stage together today. A lot of people had to make sure that things kept running and absolutely needed to make sure we stayed caffeinated and fed. So what can I say that I have learned during our journey here at Lewis and Clark? Each one of us knows one or more people who struggles with mental health, addiction, family problems, relational difficulties, or educational roadblocks. We know so many people have difficulty accessing the services and supports they need. Where, how, when, and who do they get help from? That is where this school comes into play. It has shaped us for being the help that is needed by so many. The teacher that takes extra time and care. The family counselor who can see past the havoc. Or the counselor that is able to give just enough space for someone to grow are no longer just ideas that are dreamed about. Here at Lewis and Clark's Graduate School of Education and Counseling, that is what we strive to make a reality. All of them, or shall I say us, now that we are getting ready to graduate, are aware that each person is more than a diagnosis, a GPA, a language barrier, an ethnicity, a skin color, or a gender. I wish we had more time to hear the different stories of struggle and triumph that have rippled through our cohorts and our campus. I watched as we embraced hard conversations, illness, change, and loss. I am not the only story here. As a matter of fact, I thought this speech would go to one of my younger peers in school, someone who had been able to take their education by storm rather than always fighting to be in the eye of it. I spent more energy making time to do homework some weeks than actually doing it. But here I am, the one who simply and humbly gets to give you a glimpse into how being here and being part of this school has impacted my life. My admissions interview in June of 2013 happened while my son lay on a hospital bed after his first suicide attempt. It was the only time I left his side. My only thought was, he would want me to go. I was granted a space in the Professional Mental Health and Addiction Counseling program And as I progressed through school, I worked full-time, raised kids and dogs, and slept way too little for any person to be considered sane. Seriously. I had this conversation with my mom one time that we were trying to figure out how to put exercise into my life. We discovered that I had 2 hours each week that were all mine. But that was with 5 hours of sleep a night, when we all know that sleep won that war over those 2 hours of exercise. So there were few at school that knew about the often silent war being waged at my home. Me, my family, and my son fought diligently to save his life. As time went on, we became battle-weary. Our attempts to access what was needed became more and more frustrating. As I wrote this speech, I thought, each person here right now, fueled by his or her or their inexorable passion to make a difference, will be working with a family like mine. And I thought of how the school prepares each of us to make contact with others and help them break through and heal from the social inequities and illnesses that occur each day. I have been altered for the better, both within myself and in my relationship to others, as a direct result of my experience in education. So let's finish the story. I hope you have your tissues, because I do. Last summer, we lost the battle. I immediately opened the blinds and left the doors unlocked at my home. No stigma allowed. I watched as family and friends poured into and out of the house as their grief and needs saw fit. Some flew in from other states. Others, even if just a few miles away, were unable to walk through the door. All approaches were met with compassion and understanding. We spoke openly of my son and his choice. We grieved deeply together. My professors and peers showed up and sat amongst family just as stunned and grief-stricken. I felt protected, held, and understood. I believe that Lewis and Clark helped me approach the end of this fight and of my son's life differently than I would have been able to prior to my experience in education here. And as the hours turned into days and into weeks, I made arrangements to start the next term. Some thought I was crazy. I had 3 thoughts. One was that I could not imagine going back to school at a later date with a cohort of strangers. The cohort model enhanced my learning in ways I am still discovering. To my PMHCA cohort, Ma'am Noon, thank you. 2, I know with all of my being, as I know you do, that the work we are about to embark on, the teaching, the counseling, the leadership, we have been prepared so well for, is the very thing we want to create in the world, so fewer of our sons, daughters, siblings, parents, and those we love are lost to the vortex of exclusion, illness, and prejudice. And 3, he would want me to do it. We will not win all of the battles, no matter what degree we hang on our wall, and we will not save all of the lives we are working with. We are here to push a little, to break down the armor, to remind someone that he or she or they are made of star stuff, to be allies in change for all of our futures. Bell Hooks says in her book, Killing Rage, Ending Racism, there must exist a paradigm, a practical model for social change that includes an understanding of ways to transform consciousness that are linked to efforts to transform structures. So without further delay, let's walk. There are paradigms to shift.
Thank you, Renee. We are so proud to have you here.